Darling Thrivers, I know this episode could be hugely triggering to begin with for you, and that's why I'm asking you to hear me out. So let me preface this by saying that this Thriver TV episode is not about letting abusers off the hook or granting them a free pass as a result of what they've done. In fact, it's the exact opposite. And when you hear me out, you're going to know exactly what I mean by this. All right, so before I get started and you take a few deep breaths, I just want to give a big shout out to all of those of you who support the Thriver mission by being a subscriber and sharing my videos with people so that they understand that it's possible to heal for real from narcissistic abuse and that you don't have to be stuck in the suffering of what happened to you at all. And in fact, there's an incredible life awaiting you after this. Myself and many others are living proof. Okay, so enough of that. And let's get on to this really important topic. And I want to start off by talking about what is forgiveness. Traditionally, we may believe that forgiveness is about turning the other cheek and saying, I forgive you for what you did to me. I actually don't see that as true forgiveness at all. This is what I see forgiveness as. I see it as letting go. Loving yourself enough to say, what you did to me is not what I'm going to hang on to inside my inner being so that it eats me alive. I no longer want to be drinking that poison of your behavior that is killing me whilst hoping that you drop dead. I'd much rather get rid of that poison from within me and have no thoughts about you whatsoever, including the ongoing thoughts of how I should be forgiving you. Rather, I want you to just not matter, not be my reality. I really want to have a life where I don't even feel your energy. I don't care about you. And I couldn't care less whether you fall off the face of the earth or win $1 billion because you are what you are, and it bears no part of my universe ever again whatsoever. That, to me, is forgiveness. That's what I want. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to feel into what I just said. Do you want that to be what forgiveness is for you as well? And maybe you might want to go back and replay that part of the video again and really listen to it and really feel it. And if that's what you want, if you want to get to that stage of your life, like myself and so many others, then I want you to pause this video and write about how that feels for you. Is that a version of forgiveness that you can accept and embrace and work towards? Okay, let me and other members of this wonderful community know in your notes with this video. Okay, so you know what I just want to say after listening to so many of you over the last 10 plus years, I know that's what you want. I know that when you're ready, because you know you have to save your soul and your life, you're ready to move on, that's the place you want to get to. And those of you who know that you can do that and who have done that, you know you get to that place. And that is what is going to save your soul, your sanity, and your life. Virtually 99% of you will get to that level because you have to. Because it is way too painful to try to survive your wounds when you're committed to getting free and thriving in your life. Okay, so I hope that now you're getting clear about what the goal of true forgiveness is, because what it is, it's a complete letting go, it's a detoxing, and it's eliminating every vestige of this person energetically from your inner being and also your outer life as well. Okay, I want to get you a really good incentive, another incentive towards true forgiveness. Okay, so let's have a look at this topic, which is if you don't forgive, in other words, let go, karma hurts you. And this is horrific. Okay, so when you can let go, there's an energetic phenomena that occurs, which means that you've purged, you've released, you've let go of all of the trauma connected to this. What happens is all the bad karma that trauma attracts has actually returned to sender. It goes back to the person who was the perpetrator. Now, I'm going to explain this further along in this video, so keep watching because you're going to love that bit when we get to it. But I'm going to explain to you what happens energetically when you don't let go. What happens is all of the bad things that this person did to you are wedged within your inner being. And then what's going to happen is more of the same is going to come into your experience. So here comes the explanation of what happens with that before you do let go. When somebody has done something awful to you and you're holding on to the trauma of their negative energy, which is what they projected and they offloaded onto you, and it's now stuck within you, quantum law keeps more of it going, because quantum law is absolute. It means so within, so without. It means that in regard to any topic on your life, whatever your emotional composition is about that topic is where you're emotionally vibrating. And wherever you're emotionally vibrating on any particular topic, which is to do whether you have source flowing through you as you as a true self, or you're carrying trauma on it, this is exactly what life will continue to deliver to you. And you may think that's really unfair, but I don't write the energetic laws of quantum law, okay? It just is what it is. So let me give you a very specific example. If you've been traumatized and you're a victim of somebody else's behavior and you hang on to that trauma and the victimization, what is going to continue to come into your life is all the energies, behaviors, situations and people that are going to bring you more victimization. And not only this, you're going to be showing up in a way in life that is colluding unconsciously with the victimization. You have an inner victimized lens. You have inner victimized resonance and expectation. You can be easily triggered into feeling the victim and reacting like a victim and responding as a victim, which then throws more fuel on the fire of victimization. Hanging on to what someone did to you sets you up for this. And also too, if somebody comes into your life and tries to get you out of the victimization because they're not a match for victimization, you're going to push them away and you won't trust them. You'll push them away with your toxic energy. So how do you really get out of victimization? How do you get out? All right, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But before I do, please know this. I promise you that I know how stuck and painful victimization is and hanging on to a perpetrator's energy, because I spent years like that. And we want others to rescue us from it, break through it and sort it out for us. We try to get people to stop victimizing us, but it doesn't work. Victims also take hostages. We have so much trauma that we are highly toxic. And we're hurting other people around us with our toxicity without realizing it. And it's an awful energy to be around. Is it any wonder that people are pushed away rather than coming towards? And I know you may believe that's unfair, but I'm here to tell you what you want means that you have to wake up and heal and take your life back in a way that works. And being victimized is not going to help you. It is wrong town. Okay, so when we're prepared to give that up, it means turning inwards and doing the inner work to let go of the toxic trauma which is causing us to be victimized. Now, when I did that, it saved my life, and it will save yours as well as your soul and everything that you want your life to be. Okay, so how do you truly forgive? You're going to be really pleased to know it's actually so simple. How you do it is you just do the inner work to load up, release, and reprogram all the stuff that's hurt you, all the stuff that you feel like you can never forgive. And then what happens is you no longer care what that person did to you. Why? Because the trauma is gone. You're free of it. And then you find out this organically, that the true level of forgiveness just arises. It just comes. And what it actually is, the true level of forgiveness, there's nothing left inside of me hurting to forgive. It's just gone. And more than this, gratitude arises, again organically, for the journey that you have taken on between you and Source, that has taken you to a level that replaces the previous pain. Because when you've released all of the trauma of this person, when you've detoxed from it, and you've reached a true self, and you're growing towards that, then you have raised, you've elevated, and your level of boundaries, your confidence, your expression, your expansion, and your capacity as a self-actualized human being that has risen way beyond where you were previously operating. You've claimed your divinity, your graduation into a more ascended version of yourself. You're no longer operating as somebody who was susceptible to abuse and participating in it and stuck in the cycles of it. And you realize this, and this is just wisdom that arises with quantum inner work. You realize that the narcissist was actually a symptom of something deeper, which was unhealed, unmet traumas that you acquired genetically and from your past and your childhood and your parents' genetic material. And the narcissist triggered these traumas so that you could turn inwards and liberate yourself. And that after doing that, then not only does that whole false self have no power or control or dominion over your soul, but neither do other false selves vibrating at that level. And this applies under every circumstance. Even if you are parallel parenting with a narcissist, you have raised consciousness for you and your children, truly. And I say this with absolute conviction because I experienced this in my own life as well as countless other people who turned inwards and did true inner work on this. Okay, so I want you to get excited because this is about the sovereignty of your own soul. This is the freedom that is the ability to be truly yourself in a world free from abuse. Okay, now let's get to the next part. We've looked at organic forgiveness, which is simply about meeting your traumas, letting them go and bringing in Source. And then there's actually nothing to forgive. And you don't have to battle with, I'm trying to forgive this person. It's just done. Now the next part is what happens to the narcissist or perpetrators or unconscious, selfish or, abusive people as a result of you doing this in regard to karma. The karma goes back to sender. And again, this is an organic process. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people do the deep inner work, purging themselves of the trauma and everything that happened from the hands of a narcissist, and they get really clean, clear, and peaceful and resolved inside. And it's then that bad things start happening to the narcissist. You need to understand energetic law and the quantum truth of things. Everything in the seen world is coming from the unseen world. We're all in a matrix of energetic connection that I know and believe is completely undeniable. And it's really pulling the strings of what's going on in everybody's life behind the scenes. When you let go of all of the bad stuff that happened to you and you're no longer a karma magnet, so you're no longer the victimized, traumatized being who is vibrating at that resonance and more is coming into your life, when you let that go, whoever sent that to you and impregnated you with that stuff, it goes back to them. So what that means is justice comes. This is when narcissists are held accountable. This is when their life starts to crumble down. This is when people see through the lies and the truth of what's been done to you. I had this proof in my own life, and so many times I've seen it with so many others that it is not a coincidence. The phenomena that happens with this justice and accountability is that it happens and it all hits the narcissist when you no longer needed it to. You're actually at the point of that total detachment and detox where you couldn't care less whether it does or not because you're free. That's when it happens. It never comes when you're conditionally living as a victim and you say, my life cannot go on until this happens. That's like trying to put a cart in front of a horse. It doesn't work that way. Good luck with that. Because the quantum law of so within, so without means that your inner being, you've been trying to say, well, my inner being will be whole when this thing outside of me shifts into a different state and I need that to get whole. It just can't work that way. That's not quantum law. You're actually only going to get more of what brings you more unwholeness and brokenness. Yet if you work towards your own wholeness, which is so simple, let go of the trauma that happened to me and then I become whole. And then more things happen to bring you more wholeness, which means that the narcissist's power against you crumbles into the dust. And I can't tell you how many people in our community have had incredible wins on all levels, including rectification and spiritual compensation on all levels, including money, property, custody wins as a result of doing the deep inner work on everything that I'm talking about to you today. And these people are forgiven because there's nothing left to forgive. And they actually got to that level before that restoration came, and then the restoration just happened organically. This stuff is the real deal. And as you're listening to this, I hope you're feeling what I'm saying inside as truth in your cellular being, because your cellular being knows this is how it works. Okay, so let's get very clear. Hanging on to the pain in your victimization, okay, and this person needs to pay and I will never forgive them for what they did to me. That's not going to bring you home to yourself or a great life or the future that you really want. It's a mug's game. It equals how to lose. It's wrong town. So therefore, the only solution is to let go, to cleanse yourself, to detox the trauma. And that means to forgive. So what you seek as true forgiveness is really purging the narcissist and all of the trauma out of your being, and then forgiveness will just be. How does that feel? I would love you to tell me how you feel about this version of true forgiveness after watching this episode, and write it in the comments. Let's start a movement of true, organic, freeing forgiveness so that we can all step into that energy. Okay, and to help you, I want to direct you to the fastest, most direct path that I know how to forgive, which is the deep inner quantum work with quantum freedom healing, which is exactly what's in the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program. And there are specific modules and even ebooks that are deeply a part of everything I've spoken about today, because this is so important, this cleansing. And the 3 modules are Module 3, Module 5, Module 8, and even Module 4 are really about this system of up-leveling, releasing and reprogramming to get you through to organic, powerful forgiveness, which really is your liberation. Okay, so you can check out NARP in the show notes and also with this link that appears above. Okay, I am so looking forward as always for this conversation on this topic, answering any questions. I know we're going to have a scintillating, powerful conversation because this is a big topic. So I'm really looking forward to that. And as always, please know this. We have to keep smiling, healing, and thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.